All right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. Jaybone here for the Jacked Up Jukebox, part of Smash This Podcast, where we're talking nothing but music. We take a break from the wrestling ring. We put the boots in the corner for the night. We are going to talk all sorts of stuff. We crack the beer, sit down, and hang on. We're going to talk some music. All right, let's do this. All right, welcome back. So, as you can see by the thumbnail of this episode, we're talking a bunch of different stuff. We're going to talk some LA Guns versus LA Guns. This is one I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I'm finally I'm like, no, you know what? I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to talk about it tonight. I'm just going to do it. We're going to talk about Poison's 30th anniversary. 30th anniversary. This year is all full of 30th anniversaries of stuff that I loved back when I was in high school. I know I'm really dating myself there. We're going to talk about the album Flesh and Blood. It was their third one from 1990. Oof, I was a wee little nerd. I was halfway through high school. We're going to talk about some other stuff, some new tunes from a few bands. One you're probably well aware of if you like modern / alternative hard rock, Seether, and then a brand new one from a band full of teenagers, guys my son's age or my daughter's age or somewhere in between. Band called Red Voodoo. We'll talk about them for a bit. Oh, can't forget, Chris Jericho's got a side project thing while everyone's, COVIDed up and not going anywhere. Or if you are going where everyone's getting sick and dying, there's tens of thousands new cases and all that shit going on. Chris Jericho's new project called Kuarantine with a K. And the cover of the EP looks like Kiss's 1987 Crazy Nights album with the shattered mirror, and they're all on the angle. Oh my God, it's beautiful. All right, so we'll talk about the headlining thing here first. If you've watched my channel for years, I've talked about this exact kind of thing before. And we'll get to that in a second. Right now, currently, there is 2 versions of LA Guns. Now, throughout the history of this band, there's been 2 versions throughout many years. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to go through all the different versions and all the different members or anything, because that's just exhausting. I would need a 30-pack to sit down, and it would get ugly. I'd grow a beard by the time I was done talking about that. Currently, the most notable one, in my opinion, is Phil Lewis and Tracii Gunn's version on Frontier Records. Okay, they released 2 or 3, including a Christmas album, which, pardon me for not paying much attention to. It was. I listened to a bit of it. It was, full of some fun Christmas tunes, and they just rocked it up. but they released two within the last handful of years that have been absolutely stellar and basically brought life back to the name of LA Guns because you put the simple yet incredible combination of Phil Lewis and Tracii Guns back together. And for the longest time, that combo had not been seen by fans just for so long. Since 90s? I'm going to say the 90s. Since I saw him for the first time. But I was actually 89. Damn, I feel old. And then last year popped up another version. Good old Steve Riley, former drummer of the original LA Guns, popped up with old original Jiminy Christmas, what's his name? The original bassist, I can't think of his name. But anyways, I had all these tabs open to remind myself what to talk about. And they got a new lead singer, Kurt Frolic. I want to say his name is Frolic. If I mispronounce his last name, it's no disrespect, man. And Scotty Griffin on guitar. Guys, a handful of years ago, there was two versions of Rat. Okay? And when Stephen Pearcy went bye-bye for a while, doing whatever he was doing, worked on solo stuff, these guys can't get along for 2 seconds, unfortunately. Bobby Blotzer was tired of sitting at home and decided to form his own Rat. Got a bunch of guys from LA together and started touring the sheds during the summer, and they were actually doing really well. And I've talked about that ad nauseum. But once again, you had an original drummer and some bassist that was in the band for a while. Kelly Nichols on bass. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Appreciate it. See, I'm a couple sips in. I'm already forgetting shit. See, that's why I shouldn't drink live. Bobby, it's like you got a semi-original bassist and the drummer trying to put the band name out there with a bunch of guys in the band that aren't Rat. And they went to court and they did all that shit. And we know how that ended up. Bobby Blotzer lost. Because Stephen Pearcy got the remaining members back together, well, at that time, and went back out. You had to look it up because you forgot. It's all right. Mike, I got to ask you how old you are if you're joining me for this, and you even if you did look it up, I'm just curious. So that, and I talked about this. So you got Bobby Blotzer's Rat, and then the other original guys, Steven, Warren, and Juan, and they had a couple guys. They had an extra guitarist and a drummer. And it didn't work. It just didn't work. So now, a handful of years later, you got two versions of LA Guns, and one that just popped out of nowhere. You're 45. I'm 46. Jiminy Christmas. I had a feeling you were close to my age. Well, thanks for joining, Mike. Appreciate it. So you got an original drummer, Steve Riley, and the original bassist, Kelly Nichols. I had to look. um, doing the same thing and slapping LA Guns on it. It's and Steve Riley's thing is his thing is, oh, I never left the band. What? And he's got his crew just all along for the ride. And I'm not gonna sit here and shit on the music. Okay. I dig the new single that came out. It's called Crawl. And when I get done here, it's just a cash grab. There's an opinion. All right. Wait, just hang on. I'll put links for all this stuff I'm talking about in the description when I'm done, okay? But if you know what I'm talking about, you've probably seen it. You've probably heard the single. The single Crawl is not a bad song, okay? And Kurt Freilich actually sounds like a young Phil Lewis. Now that's no insult to Phil Lewis, okay? Just hang on. But it's not Tracii Guns. You hear the song and it sounds like an LA Guns song, but you could tell it's not Tracii Guns and you could tell it's not Phil. I'm not going to sit here and tell Steve Riley that he's not allowed to put a band together. Okay? That's his bread and butter. He's a musician. Okay? I get that. But why are you going to go back and use the name when you don't even have the guy in the band whose name is on the title of the band? I just, I'll never understand that. You can say 10 times in an interview, I never left the band. You can say it as many times as you want, Steve. Not too many people are buying it. I've seen the comments in the articles. There's maybe a couple people that are like, oh, yay. I don't see much more. Now, like I said, I'm not buying the whole call it LA Guns. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not going to. But I like the music. I am curious to see what the rest of the record that's coming out later this year, fall, late summer, fall. I forget when I saw when it's supposed to come out. I'm not sure. But so there's Crawl. So that came out in April. A week later, the other LA Guns, Phil Lewis, Tracii Guns. The other names are escaping me. I'm sorry. But that band has been tight as hell the last handful of years and putting out excellent music on Frontier Records. Okay. They came out with a song called Let You Down. And I have played that song, I don't know how many times since that came out in early May. And I highly recommend, if you're an LA Guns fan, to go listen to it. It takes you a second to get into it because it doesn't sound like a typical classic LA Guns fan. But if you listen to the Missing Piece record that came out 4 or 5-ish years ago, you'll see how it fits in absolutely perfectly. Okay. And it's, in fact, they just put a concert, and I'm kicking myself for not getting a ticket now because I love I love the LA Guns. I love this version of the LA Guns. I love the music they've been putting out. They did a Monsters of Rock cruise concert live for $10 on a website, and one of those COVID things you watch from home, you know, and they played like an hour and a half or whatever. Well, they released the live version from that concert of Let You Down, and it sounds just as good live, folks. You know, because sometimes you hear stuff and it's like, oh, it's okay, it's produced, it sounds great. And you watch it live and you're like, no, no. This band sounds just as good live, folks. William Gardner, what is up? Am I reading this right? The 1983 original lineup. Oh, Kelly Nichols was new bass in 1987. No, Kelly Nichols was the original bassist from back in the day and is now back in an alternate version of LA Guns. He was in fact, I don't know when that first original lineup actually started. The first release was like 86, 87. But yeah, I agree, Mike. I love Michael Grant and Tracii Guns together. But I guess Phil and Michael Grant just didn't hit it off or something, which is weird because they were in the band together for a while before Tracii came back. So I don't know what happened there. It's weird. But Michael's very talented. In fact, he's putting out a solo thing on Frontier Records real soon. He's already released a couple singles. I think they're on YouTube. So you got the two versions of LA Guns. Now I don't know what Tracii and Phil's version of LA Guns is going to put out next, or when the next album is going to come out, because you know this quarantine COVID shit is like screwed up everything. People are postponing their stuff that was supposed to be released this summer because they're afraid people can't go out and buy it physically, so they're waiting till next spring. Some people are just like, screw it, no, we're releasing stuff now, we need money. uh, so I don't know, you know, when they're going to release something. But Steve Riley's version of LA Guns is going to release something within the next few months. And it's just frustrating. It really is, you know. So there's two versions, and there's been two versions of other bands that have been out, like Great White and stuff like that. But I had to laugh and I had to talk about it. So, you know, when I was talking about the rat stuff a few years ago, and what's funny is those videos are actually the most watched videos on this channel. It's crazy. So there you go. LA Guns versus LA Guns. Please go check it. Either way, go check out the music. It's good music, but my vote for the better of the two is still going to be Phil Lewis and Tracii Guns' version. I can't wait to see what they do next, because Let You Down is just insanely good. All right, now we're gonna sing Happy Birthday. No, we're not actually gonna sing birthday. I don't even have a cake here. I got a bunch of lollipops, but I'm not gonna crack those open right now. It ain't Great White without Jack Russell. Dude, it's so true. It's so true. Mitch is a great singer. Mitch is a great singer, but he does not fit with Great White. I have tried to listen to it, and it sounds like a bar band doing covers. You know, the band's tight. It's not Great White, though. I will take Jack Russell and his crew any day. And his band sounds great, too. He's got the original bassist, Tony Montana. In fact, they just released a bunch of acoustic stuff, covers. Well, I shouldn't say covers. Acoustic versions of the originals from 30 plus years ago. And I think there's like an original song or two mixed in there. I gotta check it out, but that just got released. I'm going to be talking about that soon. Oh, in fact, I bookmarked the page. I just saw it, and a lot of this stuff I'm getting from is Sleaze Rocks and Blabbermouth. Um, Jack Russell and Terry. Is it Terry Lewis? Is that his name? I don't know if that's his last name or not. He was the last singer in Great White that was after Jack Russell. Those two singers did an hour and a half long concert together doing XYZ, Great White, and Led Zeppelin tunes. And I'm going to be watching that very soon. I'll probably be talking about that in the next episode of Jack the Jukebox. I can't wait to see that because I know that's just going to blow people's minds. So stay tuned for that one. Please go to the Monsters of Rock Cruise Facebook page and pay attention. If you like good classic rock from back, 30-ish years ago, late 80s, early 90s, hair metal, around that time, they're doing all sorts of stuff. The first one was the Bullet Boys. I talked about that on the first episode. They sounded just freaking incredible. That's all 4 original members, folks. It's amazing. All right, so Poison turned 30 with their release of Flesh and Blood. That the anniversary of that is somewhere within the last week. It's not on the day. I do want to give honorable mention to Nelson. And I actually gave almost the whole release after the rain is that anniversary is actually today. Those guys were just all over MTV, dear Lord. So yeah, I had to give it a spin. I wasn't a fan, but I did like a couple songs on it. I just didn't brag about it, amongst all my friends because, guys weren't supposed to like Nelson. It was all chicks. But anyways, about Poison. Flesh and Blood turned 30. I liked all the songs that hit the airways. Unskinny Bop. I gotta get the list of songs in front of me again. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Flesh and Blood Sacrifice, Unskinny Bop, and Ride the Wind. They were all great songs. What I loved the most from this, honestly, were the deep cuts that never were played on the radio. My favorite songs on this are Valley of the Lost Souls. The one single was Life Goes On. Life Goes On and Something to Believe In are incredible songs on this album. Don't get me wrong. I know a guy once that was in a strip bar and fell in love with a stripper to the song Something to Believe In. I'm not going to say his name. Yeah, okay, that was me. That was a long time ago. But anyways, just a little side joke. My favorite songs off this album, Ball and Chain and Life Loves a Tragedy. Life Loves a Tragedy is my favorite Poison song off of any release. I sing that one I have to dig deep to find it whenever I'm in the mood to hear Poison, because you can't just Like I have the unpaid version of Spotify. You can't just pick a song and play it. No, you get 5 other songs from other bands that you don't want to listen to. That's what you get, you know. So then I got to sit there, turn on YouTube, hunt it down, listen to 3 minutes of commercials, and then it plays. You know, that's a tough one. It's like I know I've got the CD somewhere, but it's buried. So, um, but those are my favorite. Life Loves a Tragedy, and this was such a unique time for the band. You know, they were getting a little less sleazy, a little more artsy in their videos. But the band was such a train wreck. My God, Cece was just a maniac. Let me jump in the chat here real quick. Mike says Flesh and Blood was so damn good, the entire album. It was. Poor Boy Blues ended the album perfectly. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was good. I mean, that's just a jam, right? That's just an outright jam. Um, and and Bret Michaels, God bless him, man. The guy can still sing a tune. There are not too many guys from back then that still have that voice. In fact, my wife, um, she watches that, what is that, Masked Singer? And Bret Michaels just had a little bit of fame recently because he was on there as what, the banana? Is that what it was? He was the banana. And I watched, I'll admit it, I love listening to good singers. Like I don't care what it is, if it's rock, if it's R&B or classic hip hop or whatever, I'll listen to it, whatever. Um Beastie Boys, oh, that's not singing, but but she's like, here, listen to this. And it was the banana. And she's like, do you recognize who this is? And the second I listened to it, I don't know what he was singing. I think he was singing Leonard Skinner or some type of like Leonard Skinner song. Leonard Skinner's ringing a bell. But anyways, um he was singing, and like between 5 to 10 seconds into the song, I'm like, that's Bret Michaels. And Tracy's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you want to know how I know? And I looked up one of the songs I was just talking about, like Life Loves a Tragedy, you know, and it had that same kind of bluesy kind of pitch to it, whatever, something similar that I heard, and it just, boom, it hit me like lightning. I'm like, that's Bret Michaels. I recognize that voice anywhere because he's got one of the more like soulful kind of almost country type rock voices in hard rock, you know. um he could sing a lot of different kinds of music, honestly. um but yeah, I was like, damn, that is so him, it's not even funny. And then it was literally um not too long later that they started, you know, all this COVID stuff crap started happening, and they're talking about the tour and all that stuff. Um, Crazy. So now they're just sitting waiting until next summer. And the way things are going, God, are there even going to be people left to fill these stadiums? Terrence Sullivan, what is up? Welcome to the jungle. Wrong band. No, I'm kidding. It's oh man. So here to get your rock fix. There you go. Um, and by the way, if you're looking at the thumbnail of this video and it looks familiar, the inspiration was the classic magazine covers of Metal Edge. Like I was putting it together, and all of a sudden I was like, I remembered what some of the covers of the magazine used to look like, and I was like, yeah, kind of. So that kind of looks like that, just a little, So that's what that was, man. Because I bought all those magazines back in the day. I bought Metal Edge and Rip and Circus and Metal Licks. It was another one that was around for a little bit. Oh man, I used to buy it. My walls were just covered top to bottom with metal and rock and chicks and wallpapered, it's totally. Um, so happy birthday, Poison Flesh and Blood. Man, you still sound just as good today as you did back when I bought that in high school. Crazy. Go listen to it on YouTube. Play the remastered stuff. It sounds like $1,000,000, and then have a giggle watching the videos because some of them are just corny as shit. But I love them. I love them. All right, we're gonna switch gears now, and just talk about a few new tunes that came out. Oh no. We're gonna talk about Quarantine real quick before I forget. Jiminy Christmas. All right, so just within the last couple days, this is from Blabbermouth, and I listened to the tune. If you want to go check it out, go check out the articles in Blabbermouth. This is Chris Jericho teams up with Bruce Kulick for cover of Kiss's Heart of Chrome. Now, so Quarantine is a bunch of Kiss covers from what I remember reading. Oh, it doesn't say it in this one. Damn it. I'll have to go look it up. But it's an EP that he just released recently, from what I know. So, Chris Jericho is singing, of course. Bruce Kulick's playing guest guitar on here. Okay, here we go. Drummer Kent Slutcher. He plays with Luke Bryan. Interesting. My wife loves Luke Bryan. Guitar, Joe McGinnis from Classic 78. Okay, I don't know what that is. Oh, and if you gave just like the bands that I was just talking about from back 30 years ago, bassist PJ Farley from Trickster. You guys remember Trickster? But this band sounds like a well-oiled machine. So they're playing like deep cuts of Kiss. They released one not too long ago, within the last few weeks. The first single was No, No, No. That's a deep cut of Kisses off of Crazy Nights. That's actually one of my favorite Kiss songs off of that release. But I always like the deep cuts. It's like I like the singles, and that's like that gets you to listen to that gets you to buy it, that gets you to listen to the whole thing, and then you start digging into it, and then you start hearing these other songs, and it's like, oh my god, it's subjective. We all like this song and that song, but sometimes you scratch your head and you're like, man, why wasn't this song a single, or why wasn't that song a single? But it's not up to us. Usually, it's usually up to some dude behind a desk in a freaking record office, right? I don't know if that's still that way, but geez Louise. But Heart of Chrome, the video is attached to the article if you want to check it out in blabbermouth.net. And I'm telling you, it's, I don't care how overproduced this is or whatever, but Chris Jericho, geez, he sounds like $1,000,000 here. He really does. And Bruce Kulick, man, he's playing those licks like he did 30 plus years ago. That was 30 plus. It's more than that. But 87, 33-ish years ago. Jeez Louise. Feeling old. That was just knocking on the door of high school back then. But yeah, you like deep cuts from Kiss, and you like Fozzy, if you like Chris Jericho singing, and then you'll want to check out this band called Kuarantine with a K. And yeah, give it a listen. Not bad for some Kiss covers, especially ones that played by one of the original members from back then. Maybe not now, but we won't talk about that version that's playing right now. Not a fan. Excuse me. Pardon me. Jump in the chat here real quick. Jiminy Christmas. Texas Brett Michaels was too obvious when he sang Sweet Home Alabama. Yeah, maybe that was the one I was listening to. I don't know. I'm here for the rock and roll fix as well. The overnight special. There you go. Just like classic Headbangers Ball, man. It was on at like midnight back in the day, wasn't it? So that's why I'm doing this on Saturday nights at midnight, just like it was back then. Any thoughts here about Heard Rock Festival in Wisconsin? I did, and I saw you put that in one of my other videos the other day, and I didn't mean to ignore you. I like caught it like just as I was quitting. That's in what, Ringgold, Wisconsin? It's a 3-day thing. You can't buy individual day tickets anymore. You have to buy like the three, it's either 3 or 4 days. I think it's 3 days. And some of the bands are dropping out now because it's just so dangerous out there. It really is. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. You can say what you want about, oh, it's not that bad. Well, I'm sure there's parts of this nation of ours that aren't that bad as far as all the COVID shit. As far as I know, who did I just see the other day? Oh, son of a. I can picture the band. I can't think of who. If I look through blabbermouth.net, I'll find it. Give me 2 seconds. The lineup looked decent, but I don't know if it's going to keep going. I don't know if you've got any like specific questions you wanted to ask about it. Give me a second here. MTV Old School. Headbanging with Jaybone. You got it, man. We are old. Love the Judas song. Yeah, man. That is a great song. It really is. All right. Non-Point. Non-Point is a band that dropped out of the concert. And then I saw another headline here down the road a bit about some other band complaining that they dropped out or something. I'm not going to find it. I don't want to search through tens of pages. Oh, it was like Power Man 5000 was complaining that they dropped out or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, I'm on the wrong damn thing. Jeez Louise. So yeah, way too much music makes me feel old now. I'm sorry. We're old, yes. I know they changed the name after Non-Point dropped out. Did they? I didn't hear like all the details, but as far as I know, it's still happening. It's nowhere near here either. It's like it's Ringgold, Wisconsin. It's like in the middle of Wisconsin or something. So it's not exactly close to here. I don't go to many concerts anymore because I already have, ringing in my ears. If I do any concerts, it's like outdoor shit, where it's a little more, the noise goes all over the place. I don't go to too many. In fact, the last concert I saw was when Trent was playing with Hemi last year in Chicago, and the night before Bound for Glory. So yeah, and that was, geez Louise, that was blisteringly loud. But yeah, I mean, I still keep track of who's playing where, what, and around here. Like, oh yeah, I'd like to go see that, but I'm not going to. Summerfest, one of my favorite things to go to. I hadn't gone too many years recently, but man, when my dad worked for Pabst, um, you were there too. Yeah, that's right. Um, that was before I met you. I met you the next day. Um, my dad worked for Pabst, you know, decades ago, and he would get free Summerfest tickets. He'd get like a dozen tickets, and because he worked there, and there was the Pabst stage back then, the Pabst Blues stage, and the rock stage was next door. And so I'd go with a handful of my friends 2 or 3 days in a row, pick out the ones that I want to see, which headliners at the rock stage, and just go down and hang out all day and just see the sights and look at chicks and just dumb teenager shit, just um damn, I saw some good bands back then. Early 90s stuff. That was when I was driving and going down there. But shit, the memories. All right. Um where was I? Shit, I don't even remember. Oh, Quarantine. Yeah. Go check it out. All right. Couple new tunes. Talk about a couple things real quick, then we're gonna get out of here. It's late. Seether has a new song called Dangerous out. No, it's not a cover of Michael Jackson. Uh, 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 it's a good song. I mean, it sounds like Seether. Seether didn't change that much during quarantine. It's sounds like them. It's a little bit of a haunting. Like the video is creepy. It's a like a cartoon version of Little Red Riding Hood, and it's really disturbing. Like the hardcore original version that little kids aren't supposed to know, but all the adults know. Uh, so it's that. So yeah, go check that out. Seether and Dangerous. Now, what we're gonna end here with is a band called Red Voodoo. And I'm going to put links for all this in the description so you can hear, like the LA Gun songs. I'm not going to put Poison in there. I'm not going to put like the whole playlist in there. But I'll put the Seether song and a link for this next one in there. The band is called Red Voodoo. Okay. If you want to read the article, go to sleazeRocks.com, and it's right at the top of the page. New teen fronted, excuse me, new teen fronted band Red Voodoo released first single Rise Up with Tesla guitarist Frank Hannon. Now, I don't think he played on it, but what he did, I'd have to read this again. He basically is like producing their stuff. He's like kind of mentoring them, which I think is just incredible. You read the whole article and get the update on this. But and then the link for the video is in the article the song's called Rise Up, and that'll be in the description here. It's produced by Tesla's Frank Hannon, excuse me, and his organization, Frank Hannon Productions. And I tell you what, man, you watch this video and you close your eyes, and it really does sound like, I'm not going to say it's a Tesla ripoff because it's not a Tesla ripoff, but you can tell where the influence is here. And if you love Tesla, I guarantee you're going to appreciate this band. And these kids are so young. They're high school age. They're like late teens. And man, I commented in the video. You'll see a comment from me from Smash This Podcast. that the future of rock is okay, because if these guys, are going to be some of the forefronters of the next generation of rock, these guys, Greta Van Fleet. Oh, there's so many young bands out there that I've been listening to lately that are just so good. The one I just reviewed, Electric Mob, last episode 2 weeks ago. It's a band. Jeez Louise, wrong continent, South America. Um, and they sound like a little bit of Guns N' Roses mixed with other stuff. It's so good. Um, so yeah, please go check it. Please go check this out. There's even a link in if you watch the video. There's a link. You can go to their website, and they've got like it's like a COVID package. You get a T-shirt. You get a bunch of little things, and it's like $30. It's like, so if you want to help this, up and coming band, in times like this, and and none of these bands can play gigs, unless they're connected to like the Monsters of Rock thing, then they got a connection or whatever. But man, yeah, these kids are good. I can't wait to see what they put out next, and if they're backed by a guy from Tesla, and I love Tesla, man. Great Radio Controversy is my favorite Tesla stuff from that one also is 30 plus years old. Jeez Louise. Where's the time gone? It's just gone, right? So that's it for this one. We talked a bunch of different stuff. We talked LA Guns versus LA Guns. We sang Happy Birthday to Poison, and then talked about some other stuff. So thank you everyone for tuning in this late on a Saturday night, or whenever you're tuning in for this. Much love. Appreciate it. If you're digging the content, don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of my content hits your screen. We'll see you guys later.